Hello everyone, today I welcome you in a snowy landscape and I welcome you into a new year. So it's the occasion to wish you all a happy new year, and I wanted to thank you on this occasion as well for the shared journey so far. Thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for liking our videos, for sharing our videos. And on that note, I also wanted to express a heartfelt thank you to you who support us on Patreon. Thank you. Your support makes all the difference. So for this new year, we wish more of this, more sharing, more progress on the transformation of this former salt mine into our new home. And stay tuned and enjoy this episode, guys.
So from spring to autumn we have been working ourselves from north to west, now to the east, to fence ourselves up. To secure the ground, because we have plants here that need to be protected from wild animals that are passing our ground sometimes. And also there's a little surprise coming towards us, and maybe you too, because some things will be changing. Therefore the ground needs to be locked up and escape proof. And therefore we have to get a little bit creative, and we're going to show you today what we have been doing the last couple of days. So this is a good spot to show you what we mean with irregular terrain. That kind of gap that we have. That's 20, 40, 50 centimeters, half a meter height, to compensate. Because this hill here was artificially created once this former factory was built, and there was gravel, etc. brought here to level the whole terrain up, as we are close to a river, and I guess they were already quite clever back then to think of potential floodings. And that will be our next construction site. So this is a mixture of branches that we cleared from the ground 2 weeks ago, when we had to build up the fence, and part of those trees with these branches were basically in the way, and now that's in a very nice way to give them a new life. So this was stretch number 2. Archibald is doing the last retouch, and here we are. So we are also quite happy that we are able to reuse the wood that is not firewood, because here in this region we are not allowed to burn the wood. So it makes it quite hard for us right now, under these circumstances that we're in, to find ways to be rid of all these tons of branches that we have on our property. Yesterday it was autumn, today it's winter. And we're here just finalizing our last bits that we started off yesterday, which looks all very frosty right now, all coated in powder sugar. So this was the story of closing up the east side of the property. We are done with this job now, and let's see how this will age. Really curious about this. Maybe some of you that have the experience already, do let us know in the comments below. For the rest, what will happen here still in the future is that we will plant a hedge here in front. And some of those gaps that you see here, which we filled up now with the branches over time, we will also layer up with earth, so we also start to create an equal layer here. So that was that. A new day, a new construction site. Over here we are at pretty much the end of the house, and as you can see behind me, there's a lot of brambles and other curiosities of the vegetation that is obsolete at this moment. Not so much maybe for the insects, but for us. That demands some clearing, some tidying, and that's what we are going to do right now. But first of all, I will show you how this mess looks like at this moment. So what we can see here is a combination of roses and brambles that have been growing probably for the last 10 to 15 years over here without much human intervention, and it has been formerly gardens of renters of this place. So it's looking quite exotic. Some wild constructions. And it's the backside of our building. Here we have a needle tree in between. And a birch. And lots of shrubs of all sorts. And very unfortunately, my worst nightmare, yucca. I have counted overall already 4 of those plants here. Oh no, I see them another 2. So that's 6. Let's see how more there are coming. So that action is not done, but for today we are done. Here we have the cleared part that doesn't look like it's cleared at all. However, that is what came out of it. So this is the part that still needs to be going, because the plan is that we are using this space here behind me to put a container there to be able to continue the works from upstairs, which you maybe remember from one of the last videos where we are destructing one of the walls, and we had to carry each bucket of breakdown, which was quite a pain. So we tried to avoid those stairs, get a container here, have works done a bit quicker, and be able to move in ASAP into the other part of this house. Yet another beautiful, very chilly day at the salt mine. We are continuing clearing up the brambles on the backside, which we started a few days ago. And we have approximately -5 degrees here right now, but this I think -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Drop in the comments below if you know better. I don't know right now if I'm correct here. So this is where we left our work yesterday. You see this patch here behind me. That's what we already cleared so far. And now the game continues. So Archibald behind me is right now digging out the roots of the brambles, as we really want to be rid them for good, hopefully, or at least longer term. And that's what we are starting with.
So cutting, clearing. We are now cutting this dead tree, must have fallen down at some point. So I'm gonna chop it up into small pieces as firewood, and I will start at the head there and chop it into fireable pieces all the way down.
And afterwards it will help us to access the back part where there's more brambles. And
yeah,
that's the job for today.
Yeah, it's pretty entangled, so we will have to see how easy and how smooth that chopping will be.
Let's go! So we almost got to clear all of it, or most of it at least, and now we have to, as we already started in between, dig out all those brambles. As you can see, all those sticks sticking out of the ground need to be now dug out. Which Pokemon are you? Pikachu!
So after clearing this wilderness of brambles, we created basically another heap or several heaps of that stuff. And so, being a bit fed up with that, we tried to find a intermediate solution. Considering that brambles are relatively easy to shredder, we borrowed ourselves a family-owned shredder. It's a bit of a lightweight thing, but we are hoping that it will help us to at least get rid of this heap of branches, and for the other heaps of thicker branches we will then rent a more heavy-duty shredder in due time, but at least we would get rid of this one. So cross fingers that works. So all that was growing here has been heaped up here and here. So I'm hoping that this quite soft stuff would get shredded in that guy over there. I think we're all a little bit skeptical, but let's give it a go. not the most fun job with all those thorns, but we've got one bag full, so it seems that this guy works for brambles. So hopefully we'll be able to finish those heaps with this tool, so there will be 2 heaps less to deal with, and then we will need to deal with those bigger branches in a different way. But that's good news.